Hello, party people. Welcome back to another NRW review video. That's right, we're back at it again with another review for all our fans in internet land. And I'm your host here, David Estacado. I'm here with my buddy from Another Nutty, my good friend, Mr. Rob the Movie Guy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. Thank you very much here. And thank you, everybody here, for watching us here today, because today we have a review here for you. A little late in the game, but that doesn't matter, though, because although this film came out last year, we were very much aware of the popularity this film had leading up to it and then the events leading after the film. And we finally caught up to that popularity here, and we have to say that we definitely enjoyed ourselves here. And we're talking about the new film that just got released onto Amazon recently here called Knives Out.
Knives Out.
We are going to put a disclaimer out there, guys. We're not going to get into any spoilers here, because even though the film has already been out for quite some time, we don't think it's going to be fair for us to get into spoilers here and revealing of the events that occurred in this film, because it's not going to do you any service when you watch it, because we've told you everything.
Yeah, it's going to ruin the experience. I mean,
it's a film that you should watch.
Just kind of let the, you know what? Let's just let the trailer do the talking here.
Yeah, let's roll the trailer real quick, and then we're going to share our thoughts on the film and take it from there. So, without further ado, let's roll it.
Hit it.
I suspect foul play, and I've eliminated no suspects.
I'm Detective Lieutenant Elliot, and this is Trooper Wagner. We just want to ask a few questions. We understand the night of his demise, the family have gathered to celebrate your father's 85th birthday. How was it? Hello.
The party? Pre my dad's death? Oh, it was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request that you all stay until the investigation is completed.
What?
Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
I'm gonna live till I die.
You think one of his family
Walls.
killed? Is that what you're suggesting?
Then I cry. I'm gonna take the
You all love twisting the knife into one another.
Up your ass.
Oh, very nice.
Matter of fact,
God.
eat shit. How's that? Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
gonna dance, gonna fly. I'll take a chance. Flying high. Before my numbers up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live.
You know something. Spill it.
I suspect foul play, and I have eliminated no suspects.
I'm gonna live. Until
It's a twisted web. We are not finished untangling it, not yet.
What is this? CSI KFC?
There you go. As you can see from the trailer, it's all over the place, but it's a mystery in a good way. Yeah. Like they're trying to throw you off. Now after watching the movie and then watching the trailer again, I see why they did it that way, because they did not want to give anything away. And Rob's right. We don't want to give too much into spoilers because it's going to ruin the movie experience, because it's part of the film and it's part of the fun of watching the film, trying to figure everything out. It's pretty much your classic whodunit murder mystery. As you can tell, the patriarch of this family is killed after his 85th birthday, and they're trying to figure out who did it and to why, and who has a motive or a stake in him passing away or being killed. And the detective investigating the situation.
Well, and that's not, he's more. So you're talking about Daniel Craig here, who plays the character. What's his name? Blanc Boudreau, or I believe is how you pronounce his name. Let's get into that. Let's get into something here right off the bat with the positive.
Benoit Blanc. Yep.
Benoit Blanc. That's right. Thank you. Fantastic in that part. Daniel Craig is awesome in this part, and
That southern accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the fact that they're not keeping. He's not this standard American. Oh, hey, how are you? It's there. He has that southern drawl to him that's very appealing, and it almost carries a sense of like not in a second entitlement, but like he knows what he's doing, and very charming, I would say. And I mean, you can see why this guy is James Bond right off the bat. When you look at this part, and I imagine him never doing James Bond, and you see this film, you can look at this film and say, like, that guy could play James Bond. Knowing if he was, if you knew he was British, and you look at him like he can do James Bond right off the bat. I mean, there's a reason why, to me, in my mind, he is the best James Bond. But that being said, though, in this film, he certainly does a good job in carrying this film here and driving the narrative here, because obviously he's trying to figure out what's going on here, who had done it, the motivations behind the characters. There's a lot to unravel here, and speaking about him, everyone else in the film is fantastic.
The rest of the cast is an amazing job. It's a completely all-star cast. You have Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis,
right,
Michael Shannon, Don Johnson,
Toni Collette, and there's a few other actors here.
Frank Oz, oddly enough.
Oh, that's right. He was in the film, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he? That's right. What did he play in the film? Well, okay. Well, let's not get into that. But so,
all-star cast, and everybody plays their part amazingly.
So
it's very Clue meets Agatha Christie meets like an episode of Murder, She Wrote. It was with the hints of comedy here that just play so well, and the bits and pieces of how everyone tells their perspective of the story, to how everything changes, to the twists and turns. I'm trying to figure out the movie the entire time, and they are throwing curveball after curveball at you. So like even the ending kind of seems like a last ditch curveball too. And it was fun trying to figure it out, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, true. And this is one of those films that after having seen it just recently here, I think upon second viewing, which I do plan on visiting it again, I think there are things that we didn't notice the first time around that we may pick up on the second time around. And this reminds me a lot like of the movie Get Out. When I saw Get Out the first time, I thought it was a great film. Then I saw it again. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. These things that were revealed at the end, they were right in front of us the entire time. And I'm sure this will play along the same lines too, where the clues are right in front of you, and we don't notice them because we're not looking out for them, at least not in this regard here. And then having seen the events unravel the way they do, and you watch it again, I'm thinking, oh yeah, certain things here and there did make more sense. Now I understand why certain pieces were there and certain people over here. It makes sense, and that's how I see the film playing out for me the second time around. So making the viewing that much more. I wouldn't say I guess you could say excited, but that much more investing, because you're still invested in the characters, but now you're even more invested because you already know what's happening, but now you're seeing all the little clues in front of you and just be displayed fully in front of you. Like, oh my God, it was right in my face. And that was how I got my reaction with the second time around when I saw Get Out. I'm hoping it's more or less the same thing here. I have a feeling it will be going along that same path. But Rian Johnson, who wrote and directed the film here, if you guys aren't really familiar with his work, he has done a great job in directing a lot of great films. Two which stick out to mind. Brick, which I believe is one of his, if I'm not mistaken, I think is his first or second film that he's done. And then he also directed Looper. Fantastic films. I have not seen Brothers Bloom, which I know was another film of his. And of course, he most famously had done Star Wars The Last Jedi, which was a very divisive film on its own, but that's a whole nother topic on its own right there. But the guy does have a good eye for capturing certain events to help carry the story, and drive, and using the cinematography to tell the story well.
And piggyback off that, the cinematography in this movie was fantastic. So the house becomes a character, in the story itself. Beautiful house, and the way that they shot the film and some of the characters, you could kind of tell he was trying to tell a story not just through the acting, but visually too. And some of the clues that later on, like picking up on certain things, and certain shots are just amazing. Especially near the end and the beginning, certain characters get to shine, and the use of these of camera angles and color, use of color throughout the film was very well as well.
Yep.
It kind of gives some of the characterizations, some of these characters, some of the situations that were going on. Really, really well done.
Who would you say is like the aside from Daniel Craig, which I wouldn't say. Well, he definitely steals the film for us here. But who is another standout actor that you would point out as being?
I would say Ana de Armas. Yeah. She did a fantastic job as the
caretaker.
The caretaker, yes. Really believable. Some of the jokes around the character really well put out, well done. And even the grandmother, the great grandmother.
Oh my God! Very pivotal character.
She needs to win an Emmy for her role.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I definitely would say she was
noteworthy.
Yeah, she was definitely noteworthy. I'll put it that way. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Okay.
Although the movie did garner one Oscar nomination, so that proves it was well received.
No doubt it was, but another thing I want to point out here as the actor Christopher Plummer, who is the person that is killed in the film. There was a role that reminded me of another film that he had done that was very similar to this here, and it's two different stories, of course, and two different styles of filmmaking and whatnot. And this was a film that he had done back in, I believe, in 2011, which was the American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Played a very similar character to what you see in this film here. Of course, the outcomes were a lot more different given the direction of the story here. I was thinking about his performance in this film and in comparison to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Very likable characters, different set of motivations, of course, leading up to his demise. But his portrayal in the film of this character, I think it's one of those, for me, it was one of those unnoted, what's the word I want to use? He was another highlight for the film because when you learn about this character, you also root for him as well too. And then when you see him meet his demise, you're like, oh, it's like I felt for the characters, especially for Anna. What's her name? Marta, who was played by Ana de Armas. When you feel that connection of the two characters there, and you see how the relationship turned out the way that it did, you feel for that. And I think Rian Johnson does a great job in having you connect with these characters, seeing that development. And even though the film was like just under 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken,
2 hours and 15 minutes, but it didn't feel like it because
it flew by quick.
Yeah, the characters pulled you in, the story pulled you in,
right?
The mystery pulled you in. And when the big reveal at the end, kind of like it's final reveal. It was a phenomenal,
phenomenal reveal. Yeah,
I did not see that coming. And the comedy elements throughout that really, really helped out.
Yeah.
I don't really have that many gripes. There's probably one or two things that I would complain about it, but it didn't take me out of the movie. I actually really enjoyed the movie. I actually had fun trying to unravel the mystery myself.
Same here. Well, speaking of gripes, I think
a lot of red herrings in the movie too.
But one major gripe that I did have, and this wasn't the gripe that I have with the film is the lack of use for a certain actor, and that's going to be the character, the actor who played the young boy in the film. He's the actor that played Richie's brother in It Chapter 1. The brother that stuttered.
Jaden Martell. He played Jacob Tromby.
Yes. So he's in the film. There are parts of the film that, because there's so much that goes on in the film, I had completely forgotten he was in the film whenever he showed up. Whenever he was questioned or whenever they interacted with him, I had forgotten that he was in the film. And once he was gone, with everything else that was going on, I didn't forget that Jamie Lee Curtis was in the film, Toni Collette's in the film, even their daughter, Chris Evans, and some of the other characters as well too that weren't heavily featured into the film, but I knew they were there because they had an impact to the story. Whereas his character, on the other hand, I didn't really feel that with him. Not to say that he was terrible in the film; he was good, but it was a lot left to be desired with what you can see he could do, especially after It Chapter 1. I was like, oh, he's probably going to do something way differently in this film, which he does, but you don't see that expansion of the character being developed here. And that was one of the major gripes that I had with the film, because you have a really good actor, but you never really use his full potential here, and I thought that was a little lacking, given with with what you have with everyone else. But with him, I didn't really feel that with him. Not to say that he sucked, because he did, and he was great. But not enough to work with here. So that would be one of my major gripes. I can't really think of anything else on top of my head. Is there?
I think the only one was that kind of where near the end of the film, where everything was kind of revealed who the killer was. It was kind of like, that's it. He just knows now. Yeah. I was kind of expecting like more dramatic, reveal. Or, okay, well, now that situation.
I see where you're getting at. So, yeah, I see where you're getting at.
But then it's kind of like even bigger reveal. So it was, I guess, was kind of needed for the kind of slowly get to where the the final reveal would be. But it was kind of like it was too quick for me. There's some more consequences for what happened, but
yeah, I can see
can't get into that because it'll ruin it. So I'll just leave it there. You'll know what I'm talking about once you watch the film.
Yeah.
But that's the only two really real issues with the film, if you can even call them that, because it doesn't even take you out of the movie at all.
No, and you can almost forgive it too, because I mean, the film is written well. The actors do a great job, directed very well. I mean, there are some flaws, but the flaws that I did notice, you can easily overlook them, because the story is done so well that you can forgive the flaws, because
it doesn't even matter, because it doesn't take away from the film of the story.
Right. So I didn't really get anything negative out of it. Maybe upon second viewing, maybe my opinion will change about that again, given how I see how everything has already been laid out. So maybe that will change. Who knows? But I mean, there's really not much else I can add to that, because since we don't want to get into spoilers here, there's so much we can cover here. But we just don't want to ruin for anyone who hasn't seen the film. Do yourself a favor, watch it, because this is films like this don't really come out that often.
Along. And it's funny because as the movie went along, you just kind of like you see that family dynamic.
Oh my god!
And you kind of feel bad for some people and some you don't. Like there were a couple of people I was rooting for, and there was at the end like they're all very miserable people.
That's why. And I saw, and it's a very similar situation with the movie Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, where Christopher Plummer's character in that film, good guy, but the rest of the family all fucked up. In this film, good guy, the rest of the family all fucked up. Different set of circumstances, different set of scenarios, but it was the same type of similar tropes that character had that was told in this film. And this is an example of it's hard to come up with some really, really good original ideas, because everything and everyone has already done it. Mm-hmm. Do something different with it. And this is an example that we've seen stories like this before, but can you tell it in a very compelling and engaging way? This film, for me, and obviously for you as well too, and a lot of other people who have seen it may have felt this way, but it does a good job in keeping our attention here and keeping us moving along with the story and having us guess along the way, and we're seeing the enjoyment factor here of a murder mystery. And we don't come across these type of films.
And they even touch on the tropes too, like your basic murder mysteries. It was done in this kitchen, or like it looks like a whole Clue house. Like like the little jokes here that they drop was really kind of help push the storyline, because they know they were gonna this is gonna be very tropey. Even though it was tropey, it worked. It worked, and they executed it very well.
Yep. And this is a good example of that, where you can take a good idea and maybe it could be done in a cheesy way, but here Rian Johnson shows you why he is really good at what he does. And I hope that, and there was talks after the film was released here and had done very well, that there is talks of them doing a sequel with what's his name again? Daniel Craig's character. As much as we love
Benoit
Blanc. Yeah. That's, anyway, so there's talks of them doing a sequel with that character in a new set of mysteries here. So maybe we can see some sort of franchise going on here, hopefully done well. And hopefully done with Rian Johnson, because he did a great job in crafting the story here and doing a good job in keeping you guessing along the way, and then leading to one path only for you to be reverted to another path here and in an unexpected way. I had a great time with the film.
That being said, bringing that up, do you think the film was wrapped up neatly, or because I still feel like there's a little bit of story to tell there at the end?
I think there is a lot more to tell, but again, those are some of those flaws in that film that it did have. If it doesn't continue on with that story, I wouldn't be disappointed about that, or have that void filled up here, because they did a great job at executing the important factors of the story, developing the characters well, and really having expanded on the key important characters in this film. If they don't visit that again, I wouldn't be upset about it at all. I mean, could have they done better with that? Sure, they really could have, but I'm actually not upset. I'm not disappointed with the film. I had a great time with it, and maybe upon second viewing, my opinion may change after knowing what happens here. That could possibly change down the line. But again, this is one of those films that one viewing is not enough. You have to go back and watch it again and let the story unravel further and further. And then I'm sure the perception may change along the way. Because I haven't seen a film like that really since, if I can recall correctly, maybe Clue was the last film like that I seen. And that was a long time ago that I saw that movie, but I enjoyed it a great deal.
Or the recent one was with Johnny Depp, Murder Train, Mr. Mystery on the Train.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Express, yeah.
Yeah, and that was based on a book series, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have not seen that film. I heard it was decent, and it has Josh Gad in it. It was another adaptation, which we
don't talk about that adaptation. So at the point, the highlights of this film have to be Daniel Craig, fantastic job, Christopher Plummer, fantastic job, Ana de Armas, fantastic job, Chris Evans plays his character so well, so lovable.
America's dick in this movie, but he is so good. Chris Evans is one of those actors that I don't. People, you have to understand, Chris Evans has done a lot of good films, and he's a very good actor. One film in particular that I want to bring up here that shows you how good of an actor he really is. There's a movie called Puncture. If you've never seen that movie, Chris Evans is in that film. You can probably look for it somewhere to stream that it may be streaming on. Look for that film. Watch that movie, and it'll show you how good of an actor he really, really, really is. This film, coming off of the success of the Avenger movies and Captain America, where you used to see him as this heroic character, this is showing you what he's capable of pulling off here, and he does a great job. I mean, his complete dickish character and just a lovable asshole.
It was throwback to his role in Scott Pilgrim, by the way.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
Right. Yeah. I didn't think about that. You're right. I forgot he was. Oh, man. I haven't seen that movie in such a long time.
And Toni Collette kind of steals a little bit of some of the scenes as well as her character, being this over-the-top hippie kind of character. But besides everyone, fantastic job. Fantastic film. I just say go see it before we spoil it, because we're going to end up spoiling it in a second. Go see it. So, final thoughts, Rob. What do you got?
Oh man, this film absolutely deserves a high cheer.
Cheers.
This is a film worth watching, enjoying it with a group of friends, because I got to see it with my wife, and she's very hard to get someone's attention to sit down and watch through a film, and especially a new film that may not be in her comfort zone, if you will. And
requires some thinking here.
Well, that too, but I'm just saying that
attention more than anything. You really had to pay attention
to keep their attention, and that film did that for her, and she enjoyed it a great deal. She hated Daniel Craig's accent. I was like, because she loves Daniel Craig as James Bond. I was like, imagine James Bond having that southern drawl. Like, hello there, lady. My name's Bond. James Bond. She's like, nope, not gonna work for me.
Oh, it was so smooth, like butter. Like, yeah, that man could read me a book in that accent, and I would be fantastic.
It was great. I thought
it was.
But yeah, I definitely give this, like I said before, high cheers. It's definitely worth reviewing, and
definitely
watch it with a group of friends. This is one of those films that it's meant to be watched. Yeah, you can watch it by yourself, but watch it with a group of friends. I think it's much more enjoyable that way, because there were times my wife and I were talking, like, do you really think that happened? That interaction that the film got out of us was so much fun, and imagine that with a group. Like, can you imagine really doing that? No, there's no way.
No way. Exact same thing.
Like stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, I missed that. This film brought that here, and I hope there's more of that coming down the pipeline, especially with this character. What's his name again?
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc. Yes, thank you. But yes, those are our thoughts here in the film. But I mean, well, since your guys are here, let us know what you guys think of the film. If you've never seen the film, like I said, check it out. I believe it's on Amazon right now. So
it is on Prime.
Amazon, check it out. And let us know what you think. Did you guys like the film? Did you hate it? Did you get the same reaction out of it like we did here? Because if you didn't, we want to know why. Because quite frankly, I find it hard to believe for anyone not to like the film. But,
yeah, it's hard. It's one of the films it's hard not to like, especially with the way the characters are, man. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, so let us know what you think there. But since you're here, make sure that you also, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification button.
Down here, over here. That's over here somewhere.
Other videos out there along the way that are going to be coming down the pipeline here, and we've got more content, like we said before, like I said before, that we're working on, that we're excited to be putting into this channel here. But while you're also here as well, be sure to check out our social media accounts here. You can follow NRW here on Facebook at New Release Wednesdays, and on Instagram, New Release Wednesdays, on Twitter at TheNRW, and you can follow myself over here on social media. You can follow me on Instagram at Rob_Medina0585, on Twitter, RobMedina0585, and on Facebook, Rob the Movie Guy. Simple as that. And my buddy from Nutty over there, where can they follow you, good sir?
Well, they can follow me on my Insta and my Twitter, David is Disaster. You can personally follow me on my Facebook page on my full name, David A. Estacado, where I'll talk about pop culture, movies, and other things that I got down the pipeline, as well as stuff that I do with Rob. And again, if you want anything else, follow the annotations. They sometimes are usually up here, or hit the next follow-up page, because we got everybody else on the NRW crew working on videos regarding comic books, video games, movies, everything and anything pop culture. You can have it here every week with NRW. And besides all that, I guess, just follow us, hit us up, and let us know, because we love doing this, man.
Yep.
And if there's anything else you want us to follow or on us to review, just leave us in the comment below.
And believe me, we'll get into there.
We will.
Just be sure to, like I said before, hit us up there on our social media accounts here on this channel here as well. And trust me, people, we'll be listening and we'll be watching out for that stuff. But until next time, everybody, stay safe out there, and cheers.
Cheers.